Well, hello everyone. This is Lawrence Lucas making another video. And boy, it's been about 4 months since I posted my last video. I've been very busy with home projects, and I had a nice 3-week visit to Chattanooga, Tennessee. That was wonderful. And but I have a big backlog of used CDs I've been buying from thrift stores and yard sales. Before putting them into the collection, I like to show them off in my videos. So I'll be producing content in the next couple of weeks to show off every of these CDs so they can go in the library. Um, this video will be part one of CDs that are called compilations. Put out by the major labels or Rhino of retro music, hits and all that. And I'm going to make a two-parter, part one and part two. This is part one, and my glasses just fell on the floor because I want to keep every video about 15 minutes. So we'll get started here. The first three CDs were compilations on two labels. Cadence, which was a big label back in the 50s. The Everly Brothers was on that label. And Epic Records, and I'm sure you've heard of that. The first one, the Cadence Story, right there, okay? And featuring, and we got the Everly Brothers were on that label in their early years. Phil and Everly, Phil and who's the other guy? And Don, let them in. Okay. Anyway, this CD has 28 songs. And rather than read off artists, what I'm going to do is hold it up like that. And you could hit pause if you like to read the listings. I think this will turn up okay. You got a bit of a shadow there. So that's what I'll do. These compilations are great because you get the informative booklet. That's the back side of it, the front, along with all the information, historical perspective texts, like that. I mean, you can just listen to these CDs and read these for hours and hours. There's Charlie McCoy, Cherry Berry Wine, Cadence 19, right there. So you get the idea. And this is on Dick Bentley presents, I guess he was a DJ or something, the classic oldies of 1965 to 69 on Epic Records. And I'll hold the back side up. You can see who's on there and, hit pause if you like, if you want to read more in detail. And another Epic, hard to find 45s on that label, volume 2. This is so cool. And hold that back like that. And again, you open it up and either a booklet or a fold out with, information, the write up about the label or these recordings here. That's so really nice. Okay, so we're done with the labels, and we're going into the soul music from the 1960s and 70s. And when you think of soul and pop music of the 1960s, Motown comes to mind. And here's a compilation, Motown and Fanthology, this is called. And look at that cool artwork. I wish the shadow would not turn up. And I'm going to pause for a second and adjust the light so that light doesn't hit on the CD that much. Okay, I'm back, and this is much better. Look at that cool period artwork, you know, the colors, the bubbles, and everything from the late 60s. And I'll turn it on back. And that belonged to Jamie, but those are all the titles. 2 CD set. Each CD contains well, one contains 22, the other 23, and has all the big hits. But what was so neat about this one, it contains a fanology, hits from the entire Motown period, from the Temptations, My Girl, on to I'll Make Love to You, Boys to Men, Cruisin', Smokey Robertson, Hello, Lionel Richie. So it covers all the Motown period. And again, the booklets. Here we go. That's really cool. Time Life. This is Time Life. It is a big issuer of retro music back in the day, and this is a collection they put out of it's called Body and Soul, the 24 Central grooves, you know. So this is one you'll play, you get with your lady, you know, light some candles, turn off the lights, light some candles, and you know, have some wine, or you know, some kind of beverage like that, or and just have some time together. Closer to You, Teddy Pendergrass, Love, Al Green, Kiss and Say Goodbye, The Manhattans, Our Love, Natalie Cole. So anything slow, Show and Tell, Al Wilson. So kind of a smooching collection right there. And I don't know if you could read that because the jewel box is kind of scuffied right there. The booklets and everything is good. Atlantic Rhythm and Blues, 19 volume 4. So this is part of a collection. I've got a few more of these CDs of that collection. This is 47 to 74 right here. And I'll turn it on the side back. You could see what's on it. You know, like I said, hit pause and you probably could see all the titles. And volume 4. So very cool. And of course, we can't forget the you know, you talk about soul and R&B, you can't forget about the great funk music from the 70s, okay? And into the 80s. And I got 2 collections here. And that's a really cool cover right there. I'll turn it on the back. You can see the titles, I hope, if that's turning up. You know, you got stuff like Gene Nice, Mr. Big Stuff, Carl Douglas, Kung Fu Fighting, Paula Flashlight, Chic, Good Times, the Gap Band, Early in the Morning, and Kool and the Gang, Jungle Fever. So there's 20 tracks here, and this one is actually put out by Rhino Rhino has a very good reputation for really remastering retro music and putting it out there. This has 20 cuts, Fire, Ohio Players, Earth, Wind, Fire, Super Freak, Rick James, Word Up, Cameo, and on down. Back in Love Again, LTD. So that's always cool. The disco era. I've got actually two really good box sets of disco music. I mean, well put together by major label with um, the nice booklet and all the big disco songs. And I was a teenager when disco was big, and I loved rock and roll, but I wasn't a oh, rock and roll sucks person. I loved disco too. I thought it was fantastic. To me, disco was an extension of soul and R&B, dressing up and just going uptown. And there was a number of rock fans just put disco down, and there was that horrible incident where at the baseball park, I think it was '79, where they bring your disco albums and we'll burn them. That was really disgraceful. Um, and disco was not a threat to rock and roll. I mean, that period, some of the biggest albums back then were rock albums. Fleetwood Mac, Boston, Kansas. You have a thriving rock and roll scene, so it could live side by side. Disco can. These two here are, I know I got the box set, but I saw these, and this collection, A Touch of Love, Disco Fever, has some of the songs that cover some of the gaps in my collection. Like Searching by the group Change, I never heard of. Key, I mean, The Torch of Love, Slave. It has Midnight Oasis, Maureen Moldal. I didn't think that was disco. And so I got both of them. This is a off label, I think, in Europe, and Europe, the remastering, European pressings are very good. This is called Late FM Songs and Ballads from the 70s and 80s. And you can see what's on it. 4 CDs. Each CD contains 20 songs, so 80 songs for $1. I don't know if you could read any of that. You could pause it if you like. But, Helen Reddy, Angie Baby, B.J. Thomas, Raindrop Keep Falling on My Head, Grassroots, Temptation Eyes, Paper Lace, The Night Chicago Die. So I guess that's 70s stuff. 80s, Air Supply, All Out of Love, Air Supply again, the one that I love. Debbie Gibson, Foolish Beat, The Motels, Only. It goes on. Mixture of 70s and 80s. The Stray Cats, Stray Cat Strut, Sweet, Ballroom Brits. So 4 CDs, 80 songs for $1. Can't beat that. Okay, we're going to round this out here with some rock and roll. Now, Universal Music, working with Hippo, which is another label or outfit that remasters retro music, and the Gold Series. Universal Music, the Gold Series. There's a lot of these. Solo artists, I got a Tom Jones Gold, a 2 CD of his career, and other artists as well. Maybe I'll do a video on just on my gold collection. But this is 2 CD set, disc 1, 2. I'll let you see what's on it. Basically, your mainstream rock you heard on the top 40 stations and the album oriented. The Edgar Winter Group, Frankenstein, Elton John, Saturday Night Sorry for Fighting, Cheap Trick, I Want You to Want Me, Peter Frampton, Show Me the Way, Bad Company, the title song Bad Company, Golden Earring, Radar Love, Leonard Skinner, Sweet Home Alabama, Bachner Turnover Drive, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. Right here, right here. Okay, lastly, and then we'll do part 2, maybe a part 3. Going back to Time Life, they put out a series, a collection of CDs that covers all the top 40 songs of the rock and roll 60s era, and it had really cool cover artwork. And these aren't thrift store finds. I have the collection, which I actually ordered through the mail back in the day, but I want to show you the artwork. Isn't that cool? Maybe I'll do an entire video on this collection, like Sly Stone and kind of Easy Rider, 1969, and it had the big hits. I Want to Take You Higher, Sly and the Family Stone, Spinning Wheels, Blood, Sweat and Tears, Time is Tight, Booker T and the MGs, and the year 2525. Okay, the reason I showed you these is for this. They also added on in this collection, in this series, something called Rock Reminiscence right here. And here are 2 CDs, part of that. Now, these were different because they went deeper than the hits. They went to kind of the garage rock and the psychedelic stuff, and groups that kind of made a little bit of a headway, like Blackberry Way, The Move, Flying High, Country Joe and Fish, Darkness, the Youngbloods, Whiskey Train, Polka Harem, Shakin' Street, MC5, By Me in the Rain, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Let's see, what else? Jesus Was Just All Right, the Byrds, Open My Eyes. Now, you get the idea. And this is cool because you got an astronaut doing a moonwalk with a guitar, okay? And back then, the Apollo program, that was very big, and space exploration. And here's the other one I got. And I got a few more in the series. Psycho, the Sonics, Are You a Boy or Are You a Girl, the Barbarians, What a Girl Like You, the Trogs, I Feel Free, Cream. So they throw in some, mainstream stuff as well, like I Feel Free, Cream, Stepping Out, Paul Revere and the Raiders. When You Walk in the Room, the Searchers. Okay, I'm nearly 20 minutes here. So I love these compilations because I can put them in the carousel CD player, or I can put them in a drawer CD player and just hit random play. And I feel like I'm listening to radio back in the days without the commercials, I could be my own DJ. So I hope you enjoyed this video, part 1 of compilations, and part 2 is coming. And please leave a comment. Just 2 sentences, 2 or 3 sentences, that'll be great. Thumbs ups are nice, but comments I love. I don't get any comments, hardly ever. If I get comments, I'd be more encouraged to do more videos. And think about subscribing to my channel. So with this, I should bid you a goodbye. And oh, watch my last video. It's entitled Digital Music versus Music on Vinyl, and why I think they're both have their places and they're both good. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.